Welcome to the Gingerspyce Deep Gnome Project, Episode 3. In this episode, I'm going to be doing Elite, Heroic Elite, Army of Shadow. Yet another quest that I am certainly no authority on. I'm choosing this one because I have never done a video for this one. And, yeah, I want to work through all the quests as a video someday. Alright, so level 18. Didn't do a level 17 video. Wasn't really much exciting going on there. I cruised through it. With Litany of the Dead, and it just wasn't really exciting video to do for that level range anyways, and then the gear was pretty much the same. But let's go ahead and take a look at the gear now. It is largely the same as it was. I still got the Concordant Opposition Goggles, the medium blue dragon scale. Can't emphasize enough that that should be heavy, but that's just what I had. Braces a Win, I did just recraft that and put enchantment save plus 5. I think it just had enchantment save plus 3 before. And, you know, important to emphasize that that enchantment save plus 5 will stack with like a resistance 5 item. So it's 5 over and above specific to, you know, like spells of an enchantment school. Like Charming or Dancing Balls, for example. Recrafted this. This is Ogre Power 5 with Good Luck plus 2. It was Ogre Power 6, Good Luck 1 before, but my strength was at an odd number, so I decided to lower the strength by 1 so I could get Good Luck plus 2 on there at this level. Still got the same boots. Evocation Focus 2, Fire Absorption 33% crafted on a yellow slot with Feather Falling. Still using Vile Blasphemy on the gloves. Circle of Hatred, nice and Tim and resistance item. This is the same as last. Con 7, False Life 27. Cloak of Flames is the same. Now I have Melee Alacrity 10% crafted on there. And Shard of Power Ice Lore 15%. Efficient Meta Magic 2 is the same. My Beloved Torque is the same. And the Mineral 2 Helmet is the same. As is the Wall of Wood, Heroic Normal, and the Lit 2 Scimitar. Gonna have the pet out. We'll see how long he stays alive this time. The armor's the same as last video. Con 4, Heavy Fort in the blue slot, and Vulnerability. And still using the Vampiric Stone Dust hand wraps. Now, normally at level 18, I would like to switch to the Thorac wraps that I have converted to a collar. This is from the Heroic Hound of Zoriat raid. Beautiful, beautiful collar. Probably the best for like level 18. But because I have one level of Wizard, that means I only have 17 Druid levels. So my Wolf is level 17. So he can't wear this until I have 18 levels of Druid, so next level. But I just wanted to mention it's such a cool collar. I didn't talk about the enhancements. So I've got up to Cunning level 4, Instincts to have trap saves, Opportunistic Bite, I mean that's a must right there. Striding, it's nice to have a fast wolf. Some extra hit points. Flanking, that's a prerequisite for either Opportunistic Bite or Blueplane Onslaught, I can't remember, but having flanking too is definitely a prerequisite for something else. Wolfpack Bite, that's essential. Raging Wolf. I don't think you have to have this stuff dragged down in there, but I'm going to do it anyways. And then Hounding Yip. So this, you know, grants your wolf, it says the use of the bluff skill allowing temporary distract enemies. I mean, it's just like, you know, when you use bluff, but the idea is to keep aggro off the wolf. You don't want to choose things that are going to put aggro on your wolf, like Alpha Wolf, for example, or Growl, for example, I think it's called. The wolf is just too squishy, generally speaking. So, like, maybe really early on, but, you know, when your wolf dies, you get that hit point and spell point hit. You don't want your wolf to die. You don't want your wolf out there tanking stuff. Wolf should just be seen as like a helper. When the wolf dies, it sucks. So just stay away from the things that draw aggro to him and use the stuff that gets aggro off of him. Lupine Onslaught, also a must. 10% attack bonus on melee attack speed. 10% melee attack speed bonus. My enhancements. Oh, before I forget, I did notice that the bug with energy criticals is still persisting. So when you first log in, you want to make sure to toggle it off and then back on again. Otherwise, it doesn't apply the crit chance, and you can confirm that by looking at the spell critical chance here by hovering over this little purple icon. Whether that's just a display bug or not, I don't know, but just to be safe, when you first log in, toggle the energy criticals off and then back on. Okay, different from the last video. I don't think I had the tier 5 in the deep gnome tree, so this is 2 more dodge and 2 more MRR. Very awesome. Also has a 15% chance to retain a scroll when you use it, so it won't actually use up the scroll sometimes. Kind of neat. But that's just about the dodge and MRR. Picked up the first tier of efficient metamagic maximize. I will probably max that out. Definitely. I may make some changes at endgame. So the rest of my points I'm going to be spending in here. I'm going to be picking up Negotiator. I'm going to be picking up Action Boost Spell Power. I'm going to be picking up Autumnal Susurrus. And I will be picking up Storm of Vengeance. Obviously won't be able to get Hierophant if I keep the 1 level of Wizard. At endgame, I'm going to see where my Intimidate is. I might have to lose some points in the Druid tree to try to get 3 more points of Intimidate. Also gets 3 points of Spellcraft, which is pretty cool too. But those are my plans. Okay, let's do a quest. So I just recently lowered the gain on my mic because some of my videos it's been clipping on. I just did the video today, edited, and will upload after this video. After I make this video, the episode 22, I think it is, Chains of Flames, for the Ginger Gnome series. Oh, it was so weird editing that video and watching me melee.
The Netherese standing at the door waves you in. The future belongs to Nether. Join with us. Speak with the recruiter inside. The Netherese snap to attention as a dark form emerges from the shadows. This must be the Shade who commands the Netherese recruitment campaign.
This is a quest that, I don't even do once per life. And if I was maxing out my favor, I don't do Wheloon a bunch.
The Shade vanishes back into his tower retreat. You might learn how to reach the general by questioning the recruiter.
Wolf's getting tore up. Yeah, put him on defensive. We're set to defend me. Oh yeah, he's getting tore up. Fully buffed, 3 Druid Pass lives. That's freaking garbage. Mentioned in the last video, but I'm going to mention it again, for you newer druids. When you get Earthquake, turn Maximize and Empower off for Earthquake. It is a damaging spell, so it can benefit from Maximize and Empower, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, so it's not worth the spell point cost to try to get that little bit of extra damage out of it. It's a nice, just a little spell point savings, and you can right-click it on your hotbar, and you can turn it off just for specific spells. chest is locked. Let's see if a knock wand will get it. Probably not. Oh, we can't knock it.
Wood groans against metal in the
I
distance.
don't know what
as the
unlocks
gate
that.
to the Shade's tower opens.
So, not to the point yet where, you know, I'm having to do the whole, you know, personal hurricane with the sleet storm, ice storm, storm of vengeance, that whole thing. It's just not necessary right now. The aura by itself is tearing mobs up, and the earthquake is nice crowd control, but it's just overkill to try to do all the other stuff. It's definitely helpful for some quests at this point, but it's not needed here. Hey, it's unlocked now. I think I missed a bunch of crap over here. I don't even know if I have to do it. If you are watching this and you're new to my build, you know, it's at its heart is a caster druid, but plays very different than a traditional caster because, you know, a traditional caster doesn't want aggro. But this build is designed to get aggro and, you know, be a tank that can fight in the middle of everything. And you have, you know, such strong defenses that you can stand up to, you know, half the dungeon at a time, and you have such strong crowd control that a lot of the mobs aren't going to be hitting you anyways. And it is a party-centric build philosophy behind this. You know, as I've talked many times in the past, and as is mentioned in my build post, the idea is to be able to perform a variety of roles. Sometimes all at once, sometimes, you know, just one or two of them. So it's caster, healer, tank. And in doing that, I do sacrifice. You basically you spread your resources a little bit thin when you do that. Uh, but I don't feel like the casting DPS that I could gain. Let's say if I just would forego the defensive stuff, I don't really feel like I'd miss it. Like I definitely have played things as more of a caster at one point, but I'm pretty happy with the way that it performs. Generally speaking, and I will say again, legendary elites, I wouldn't advise, soloing with this build. Uh, we only have 2 legendary elite quests right now, but they're definitely a slog to try to solo them. But other than that, you can pretty much solo just about any epic elite, and definitely any heroic elites in the game. But the Achilles heel of the build is definitely like beholders. If there's quests with lots of beholders in it, the anti-magic just shuts me right down. In terms of my ability to DPS and crowd control. But it's really nice to be able to perform all those roles. And if you don't know me from watching my videos, I'm co-leader of the High Lords of Malkier on Sarlona, and we do a lot of raids. And it's just nice to be able to, if we need a tank, if we need a healer, I can do those roles. And it's one of the things I love about the Druid is I can do all those competently on the same tune. Just sit there and ask people to switch to a tank or wait for a healer or whatever.
The Defiant Guardian falls. You now have the key to the Shades Tower.
I now have the key to the Shades Tower. Can probably go upstairs now, I'm guessing. Really don't like scrolling. GH. But don't have it in the racial tree anymore because I'm not human. Apparently there's a bug, and I haven't tested it in a couple months since somebody brought it to my attention in the build post, but there seems to be a bug with Spring's Resurgence that when you cast it on other people, when it goes off, it heals me. It heals the caster instead of the person that you cast it on. So I don't know how long it's been that way. I didn't really pay attention until somebody brought it to my attention. But something to be aware of. So I don't even bother casting it on other people anymore. But I do love casting it on myself. It's just a nice emergency save. I mean, countless times I've been saved in traps. Ooh, wow, the wolf didn't die. It's also a nice reminder, like, when I'm in a group, if I see the leaves proc on the ground, that's a reminder, like, hey, you're taking damage. Heal yourself. I'm really bad about watching my health.
Stairs lead up to the tower where the Shade General dwells.
I feel like this build is going to be really especially good for newer players too, because they're going to appreciate the defensiveness. You know, I've talked about that quite a few. I think I mentioned it earlier in the series, but you know, when newer players feel a little bit squishy and you know struggle to survive, the extra defense built into this is going to help keep you alive. Where you know some other builds might go down, and as I've advised people in the past, especially if you're newer, you know, go all out with the defenses. And once you build up a higher level of competency, you know, and I'm speaking to especially the people that look at the build and go, well, I don't really want to tank raid bosses. I still say, you know, go all out with the defenses, and then you know see how it feels, and then once you know you take it to end game, ratchet back the defenses if you feel like you don't need them, and then you know use some of those resources maybe to focus on more offensive stuff. But the bottom line is just, you know, get things in terms of the defensive components of it, get things to a point where you're comfortable with it, where you feel good about it.
The darkness near the Shar altar starts to rise.
Love sunburst on those shadows.
The last of the altar's topples, ending worship of the shadow goddess inside the complex.
Okay, now must be this way. Tossed Ice Storm there because there were some assassins and they have good saves, but Ice Storm, if you didn't know, doesn't have a save. So mobs can't evade it. It's one of the things I really like about Ice Storm, especially versus Firewall. Firewall, mobs make saves against. Firewall is really good against undead, and obviously if you're a Firecaster, but it's just for general use. I prefer Ice Storm, and I'll definitely be switching over to like Cold Druid, you know, water elemental form once I get to around level 20.
A frigid mist drifts out of a dark and foreboding mirror. This must lead to the Shade's lair inside the Shadowfell.
Oh yeah, this end fight.
You are braver than the usual sword fighter pouring your sins against us. Alas, you are just as talented. Don't you understand? You do not face me and virtue. You face an entire empire.
Just clicked on the Potion of Superior or Improved Freeze, plus 15 alchemical bonus to cold spell power. Get those from House P. Actually, you can get them from a few places in the game. Meridia as well.
So why don't you skip to the part you do understand? The fight.
Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold.
The Shade breaks off his attack. All things that walk the Shadowfell serve me, as do the things that could.
We'll do the Storm of Vengeance on him. I know he's got some immunities, I can't remember to what. Looks like he's taking acid, electric, and fire damage. Immune to cold, I think. Yeah.
Fenceless. I do not believe it's the dying ship.
Piece of cake. 25 grand. Not bad.
One genuine has lost the passion, but never
Well, thanks for watching. If you have questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about my build, you can respond on my Druid forum build post. And if you're on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.